not to be too predictable, but yes, I've got a Monday Night Football recap. The best part about it is, though, the NFL has never been more unpredictable than it is right now. I mean, yesterday I did start the show by talking about how jacked up things are under the shield. Jacked up in the sense that nobody has any idea. I don't care what anybody tells you. Nobody has any idea what's going to happen week to week. And if they say they do, they are lying. This is how I know that the NFL is jacked up and nobody knows anything about anything, because I watched Bacon 45 get his ass kicked by a team that had already given up on its season. That's how I know. How else do I know? Because Aaron Rodgers could not get a game that he had to have against Taylor Heineke and the Commanders. That's how I know. How do I know that nobody knows? I know because the New York football teams suddenly cannot lose. That's how I know. Then last night, it's like the hood man himself. The hood man himself went, oh yeah? Yeah, you think that's weird? You think that's weird? Radio man, why don't you hold this beer so you can see me get completely worked by a rookie head coach? I don't even know his name, but he just turned me inside out, just like I told the entire world that he and they would. And in fairness to the GOAT, in fairness to the hood, he did warn us. I said it myself. He did warn us. Like, the hood has got to be the only person alive who is not surprised with how that game went last night. Because remember, it was the hood who dropped a 7.5-minute, 1,000-word dissertation on how amazing the Chicago Bears were last week. Remember that? And I cracked him hard for it. He knew. In other words, they were exactly who the hood thought they were. Exactly who he said the Bears would be. So given what he said about them before the game, he probably is the only one who is not shocked about how that game turned out. But I sure as hell am. Oh, I am. And I'm guessing pretty much the rest of the world is too. Because the fact of the matter is, I was pretty well convinced that the Patriots had a very solid defense. And I was equally convinced that the Bears' offense was complete and utter ass. And then, as much as I do like Justin Fields, he had been struggling mightily. The defensive legend that is the hood and his face-licking son were going to absolutely destroy what was left of Fields' mojo and his confidence. To which Justin Fields himself said, unfortunately, and I will say unfortunately for a reason, but that was the Fields we had all been waiting on. The electric playmaking stud who can beat you with his arms and his legs and has the ability to extend plays and make something out of nothing. And he did it on a big-ass stage in the Patriots' house in prime time. And if you say you saw that coming, you are a bleeping liar. Nobody saw that coming. Not the Bears, not Fields, and most of all, not the Patriots. Nor the big head, James Kelly, or myself, as we laid the points and we needed that win to win the weekend for Jim Rum's big head bets. And by the way, felt pretty damn good about that too. I may even give that the James in Portland manual buzzer. We missed so badly on that. Right? James Kelly and I going, we got this, we got this, we got this. We'll win another weekend. We got the Pats. We got the Pats at home. I'll lay the points. James in Portland, that is. And what do you know? What do you know? What do we have here? The Patriots have the last thing that the hood himself wanted, a straight-up QB controversy. Straight-up QB controversy. Something that he did not want, but is a creation of himself because he ripped Mac Jones from that game after only 3 series. Fact is, as hard as Jones worked to get back, it all did start pretty horribly for him. New England was already down 10-0. Mac scrambling, then he was sliding, and then he was spiking. Scrambling, sliding, and spiking a dude in the package. Then you got Brisker. Brisker intercepts Mac 3 plays later, and that pick got Mac yanked out of the game, and then all hell broke loose in Foxborough because suddenly it was Zappe time. Zappe hour. Zappe days. And for like 20 minutes, time stopped inside of Foxborough. It was almost like Bacon Jr. was resurrected right in front of our eyes. Zappe walks on the field and immediately starts spinning lasers. Zappe unleashes another dime up the far sideline to Devontae Parker. Listen to Pats fan absolutely losing their collective bleep. Pats fan foaming fully at the mouth at that point. I'm surprised the entire building didn't just collapse. I'm not even sure they even got that hyped on Bacon 45 back when he was stacking chips and Lombardis. In fact, I'm not sure I've ever heard anybody that excited about anything. Well, except for these idiots about the Padres.
That's what's in.
Or that weirdo when he saw that double rainbow.
Whoa! Oh my God! Oh my God!
And if we're all being honest, we were all sucked into. I admit it. I loved what I'd seen from that kid. No, not the rainbow hippie, the kid, Zappe. I love what I saw from the rainbow hippie. I love what I'd seen from that kid in the 2 prior games. Loved his moxie, loved his loved his vibe, loved that he was going to get Big Head and the dub that we needed to rip the weekend on Jim Rome's Big Head Bets. Little did I know what was coming, especially from the Bears, especially in the Hood's own house in prime time. Next thing you know, we're all on this Bailey Zappe roller coaster, unable to get the hell off because what goes up must come down, and Pats fan and everybody else watching experienced the harshest come down ever. We all went from swimming in dopamine to drowning in a hideous, stagnant offense. There were no rainbows. There was nothing. In other words, it went from Zappe to sad. See what I did there? It went from really Zappe to really sad really quickly. Because here's how the rest of the Pats' possessions went after that drive. Fumble, punt, pick, end of the game. Meanwhile, Justin Fields just kept running, and Chicago kept scoring, and the Pats defense kept getting flat out annihilated, gashed, straight up curb and head stomped by the Bears, who, by the way, were completely unrecognizable to me. Show of hands. Who saw the Bears coming into Foxborough and just bullying the Pats? Right. No one. Nobody. I don't know that I have ever seen a Hoodman Coach Pats team get straight run over for 4 quarters like that. But then again, I've never actually seen the Hoodman play musical chairs with his quarterbacks like that, or really just rip the chair out from his starter after only 3 drives. Hey, add that to the list of reasons to go. I don't know why I've never had that. If you pull somebody's chair, that's a reason to go. Why? Super humiliating, and they could crack their spine. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny, but it's a reason to go. The rare thing that is funny, but is a reason to go. Anyway. Hey, man, why don't you have a seat? Oh, psych! Yeah, it's funny. I got a cracked spine. Anyway, you try to figure out exactly what he was thinking. It seemed really out of character, right? Really out of character for the mumbler to use his quarterbacks like that, but nope. The mumbler says this was actually part of the plan, and they both knew it. I'm not saying that it wasn't the plan, because I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say that was not the plan. I will say this. If it was the plan, it was an effed up plan. Maybe that was the plan. Maybe he'd have us believe that Mac was not yanked for performance reasons. Maybe he'd have us believe that Mac was not yanked for health reasons. Maybe he'd have us believe that it really was scripted like that. Regardless of situation, regardless of score, we were going to have that guy out there for the first 3 series. Maybe that was the plan. However, if that was the plan, that sounds a lot less like a Hoodman plan and a lot more like a Matt the Pencil plan or a Joe Judge plan, because it's a horrible plan. I would say make that make sense, but you can't because it doesn't. It didn't work. So, to get the quarterback up there, Mac. Mac hits the podium, and Mac pro'd it up because he is a pro, and he took the high road. He may have done a really good job of explaining it to Mac, but he did a really bad job of explaining it to the rest of us. And before you defenders come in here and say, he doesn't owe you, Rome, or anybody an explanation, that's fine. That's fine. Maybe he doesn't. But don't think that if he does not explain it well to everybody else, there won't be questions. There are going to be questions. Questions as to why he handled his quarterbacks like that when he just got beat down by Chicago. So, no, he doesn't have to explain it. But if he doesn't own it and explain it, people will keep asking questions. That's how that works. And why do I think, and I like Mac a lot, and I believe Mac, but why do I think that when Mac Jones says no hard feelings, considering the spot that the Hood put him in, there probably are some hard feelings. I mean, like, totally cool when you hustle back from that high ankle sprain, and in return, your head coach turns an entire stadium and fan base and planet against you. But no hard feelings. It's all good. It's all good. I'm fine. Hey, listen, I understand that the mumbler has forgotten far more football than I could ever know in a million years. But that's pretty much why he absolutely should know how absurd this whole thing is. If you're going to jerk your quarterback out, yank your quarterback. Just don't BS us about it. We all get it. We all like Zappe too. If you want to roll with Zappe, roll with Zappe. Just don't insult our intelligence. And of course, the Hood, after he refused to even get into that, of course, he was going to offer zero clarification on what's going to happen going forward.
Who is the starting quarterback?
Yeah, we just finished the game.
Oh, glad you asked. Let's get into that. Well, who's your starting quarterback now? I mean, that was an absolute disaster. Now who? Excuse me, could you speak up, please? I'm sorry, what did you say?
Yeah, we just finished the game.
We just finished the game. Yeah, you did just finish the game. The game where you started that one dude, let him play 3 series, watch him toss a pick, yanked him, and then got blown the hell out. That's why they're asking who your quarterback is going forward, Hood. And that's why they all want to know who the hell your quarterback is now, because of the way that played out. I mean, hell, maybe for the first time ever, it's not that he's not telling us. Maybe he really doesn't know. I know Matt the Pencil and Joe the Mouth have no idea, considering they've got zero experience with this kind of thing or any kind of experience relating to coaching an offense or developing a QB. Like, there is legit QB drama in New England, and nothing feels more backwards than that. But at least it fits right in with this backwards NFL season. Hard to imagine the GOAT handling that thing any worse than he did, because if he really did tell both of them that he was going to play both of them, as we all know, having 2 quarterbacks means you have none, right? And if Jones knew he was on a short leash, of course he was going to press early on. He knew he was on a short leash. He wanted to make sure that the Hood did not come with the hook. And number 2, he knew that the fans loved Zappe coming in. So, of course, the guy was pressing early on. And he had been out and coming back from an injury and knew he was on a short leash because, if we believe the Hood told them both, you're both going to play. In other words, better coach him up, GOAT. Because we know the Pencil and the Mouth won't.